have to vote to come back into recess? We've never recessed before, I don't think.
I would just vote.
We have to vote back in?
Okay. Come back in from recess?
I honestly don't know.
I don't
Let's do
know.
it to be safe.
I was
That
trying to
way
look at my
it doesn't hurt
cheat sheet and
anything
it
to
doesn't.
do it.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah, I don't think I think you can just call us back in.
You just
okay,
it
call the
that.
meeting to order.
Yeah.
All right, then we are going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And according to our agenda, the next item is commendation and good news.
Okay, so we have some good things up here. Obviously, if you were able to make it, we had our high school holiday concert.
And it was live streamed also.
It was live streamed? Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
I
Sweet.
watched it.
I was hoping you got that going.
Yes.
Really cool thing about it is they did something new this year. They had a spaghetti feed prior, and they had the fourth grade. Fourth grade kind of has a little after-school choir going, and so they performed kind of at the end of the spaghetti feed. They did a wonderful job, and then they went into the theater and had the concert, and just gives me chills. I mean, just the acoustics in there are amazing. Our kids are amazing, and so being able to kind of see them in their element, and you know, they just kind of take a little different presence on that stage too. It really is really inspiring to see them down there. In fact, they, you know, even at the end when they pulled up the alumni, and I had some people nudging me to get up there and go sing with them, but I had no idea that the alumni song was not anything I'd ever heard before. So I was like, well, good thing I didn't go up there, because I just would have been mouthing like a fish. So like, wasn't going to do that. But anyway, so it was just a wonderful night. Everybody did a really nice job. So, and then I went to the fifth grade musical. They did a Dickens of a Christmas, and those kids, I've never been to one of our elementary Titan Hill musicals before, and it is something. I'll tell you what, like, it is a whole production. I thought it was going to be like a couple scenes, a couple songs, and be done. No, I mean, the set up there was, I mean, it would rival our high school set. Like, the set was amazing. The kids did a phenomenal job. Kids had their lines memorized. It was funny, and they sang really well. I mean, it was just really a cool performance. So I'm looking forward to, I know third grade has a musical. Does fourth grade do a musical as well?
Yeah, I think
You think so?
so.
Okay, well, looking forward to that, so. So we have Coach James Driver. It was actually named the Iowa Small Public School Coach of the Year. He now goes on to the national conference where he was up for National Coach of the Year. So we're hoping that, obviously hoping that he has an opportunity to win that award as well. So pretty amazing. Girls High School Wrestling, just want to point this out. So we kind of started the year with about 9 or 10 wrestlers. We're up to, I think, 19 wrestlers now. So that girls program is really growing, and they're doing very, very well. They finished, this was at the MAC tournament that we had last weekend, and they had 32 teams. They got second out of 32 teams there. So just kind of wanted to point out, girls wrestling is relatively new to the district, and it's doing really well. I think in junior high, our numbers are, I want to say, over 30 is what we're looking at for junior high numbers. So just so you guys know, and this is kind of, you know, what a lot of you guys alluded to, like when you guys make the decisions to add programming, or, you know, this is the result right here, is really looking at giving our students another opportunity to shine. So Thriving Titans, I wanted to give a shout out to them. They sponsored 83 students for Christmas this year, and they gave gifts out to them. They also do the like the food pantry drive, or the is it pantry drives? Is that what they call it? Food pantry drives they do on Tuesdays, and they do a lot for students in our community and families who need that additional help. So really, really happy and proud to have them be there for our district. Titan Hill Penny Wars. So I really couldn't find a picture. I should just put a penny up there now that I think about it. But they raised, this is the fundraiser the Titan Hill kids do for, what do they donate the money to? Or what do they raise the money
Is
for?
it foster kids?
Yeah, one of them is for, half of it is going to the student council, the other half is for a foster care organization that's a local organization.
Awesome. Well, they thought they raised $4,400, but it's a lot of pennies to count. So after we were done having them professionally counted, it was about $4,603. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's pretty amazing.
What's the timeline on collecting
It's
that?
like I think it's like a week, and they were really
It was
excited
only, you guys approved it at your last board meeting, and they started the next day, and they finalized it last Friday. So in a matter of like 9 school days.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that's mine, because my kids went through our
Yeah.
house like a vacuum,
Well, it's
sucked up
because
every bit of spare
They
change they
offered
could find.
donuts though if they won, if it was your classroom, right, that raised
Oh,
the
yeah.
most.
Oh, did
And then
the-
by the whole
okay.
school, they got to do something to Mrs. Barker. What was it? It was something.
There's a silly string party.
Silly string, yeah, party.
Gotcha,
So
46,000.
yeah.
they care about those donuts.
Pretty
It was real fun taking it to the bank today.
Got your
Do you have
wagon
a
out.
wheelbarrow?
Yeah, we had lots of buckets, so we prepared the bank, told them we were coming.
That's funny.
Alumni Spotlight, we have, is it Connor Lanceal? Lanchel, yep, and James Devine were both the American Rivers Academic All-Conference. They both attend Wartburg College. Connor does cross-country, James does soccer, and then Cole Jensen was actually one of 44 kids in the country to be invited to the Major League Soccer College Showcase, so that's pretty phenomenal. So once again, if anybody has any really cool alumni stories that they want shared during a board meeting, please send them to me. These were actually shared with me by Mrs. McDaniel, so.
And of course, I mean, the obvious one is also Max Duggan.
Well, Max
One
Duggan,
of
yeah.
four in the
I kind of talked a lot about him at the last
one,
so-
but just
obviously
the
you
fact
got-
that, you know, he coming in second for that
Yep.
and then receiving the other 2 awards, so I just
Yep,
wanted
and he
to.
did just declare for the NFL draft, so.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty awesome. Could potentially have a Lewis Central alum get drafted to the NFL, so.
We have one.
We have one? Mm-hmm. Second
Plays
one.
for
then.
plays for the who's kicker for the Tennessee Titans, I believe.
Nice.
Somebody correct me.
Well, I think he was
He was
not,
not drafted.
Okay,
Yeah.
he was,
He was signed like 5 minutes after the draft.
there we go. Okay,
There we go.
so my apologies, I stand corrected.
yeah.
Small technicality.
Yeah, my apologies.
Either way, he's kicking in the NFL, and that's like my dream job.
Yeah.
Not that, I want to be a backup kicker in the NFL someday, so.
Backup kicker.
I wanted to be a water girl. I'm not going out on the field.
So anyway, so if anybody has any, anything they want to share in the future, please send it to me and I'll make sure I get them on the spotlight, so.
Okay, anyone else? Commendation or good news? All right, comments and suggestions. This is the first time during our agenda that anyone in the audience or anyone online, if they want to type something in, can address the board. Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to our consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have an updated personnel sheet?
We do. The changes, or the additions are marked with asterisks.
And just so you guys are aware, the E and I at the end of those licensed are the early notification incentives that you guys approved at the last meeting. Those 3 are taking advantage of that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it is working.
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Wyledge,
Yes.
Ms. Adkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. Okay, report, 7.01, superintendent report.
I just have a couple things here. So academically, over the last couple weeks, we've done some walkthroughs. I've substituted in kindergarten classroom. And really, you know, I really have to give it to our teachers usually at this time of the year. In fact, when we were walking through today, teaching on a Monday and a shortened week due to a holiday is very hard. And I was just surprised about the level of engagement that our teachers were still involved in and at the high school, and our students were still involved in. So I really want to give kudos to our staff. I want to give a lot of kudos to any kindergarten teacher out there, because spending a day substituting in kindergarten classroom, I learned about a year's worth of information about kindergartners. So, so that's, you know, when you walk through our buildings, and like I said, I'll have to try to figure out a time to get you guys to come through on visits with me, but when you walk through our buildings, you really get a feel for kind of what it means to be a Titan, you know, whether it's as a staff member or a student, you know, we do things the right way, and it's really fun to go about the school and be in the classrooms and get to experience that. Facilities, been in contact with Shive Hattery. We can expect the finished product for our facilities assessment by the end of January. Until then, they're gonna start these weekly updates, and so I'm gonna reach out to the facility committee, those who are on there, and let them know when those updates are gonna be. So if you wanna be involved, or if you can make it, if you can't make it, I just wanna make sure you guys have the opportunity to jump on those meetings. And then next steps so what the next steps look like would be, once they give us that finished assessment, then the next step would be for the board to name a facility committee, made up of parents and community members. Will also get staff members involved, to make sure that they can kind of see the results of the facility assessment, and then maybe present some viable options moving forward, whether it's do nothing, maybe whether it's maintain, whether it's renovate or add to, or whatever it is. So I do think that my job as the superintendent is to provide options, and it's the board's job to kind of make the final decision on what any of those options are. But I do think we have to afford our staff and community and parents the opportunity to have voice and be able to give feedback and I know that has always been a priority of the board, to make sure that parents and community members, whether you have kids in school or not, if you reside in the district, if you're a business owner, I mean, everybody is involved in school-based decisions. So, so that's kind of what that looks like. Early resignation incentive, Andrea just talked about that. You know, we have 3 that have already reached out and submitted the resignations. And then negotiations. So on the January 9th meeting, we will be trading initial proposals. The negotiations committee is going to meet, for us, is going to meet this Friday, weather bearing, to see if we can present maybe an option for the board for an initial proposal. And then January 9th is kind of when we'll talk about or trade those initials, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we're still hoping to have our contracts to our staff out on March 15th, which is by law the first date we can send them out. That really helps us with our budgeting and our staffing as well. And then so contracts will be due 3 weeks from 21 days from that date. And then budgets are due on April 15th. So just when we talk about even you guys coming to the board, that's kind of the timelines that we have to make sure we meet. So any other questions?
How long do teachers have to notify in order to qualify for that?
January 31st.
31st, okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. We'll go on then to our discussion items. 8.01, football field turf replacement maintenance plan, bids to be accepted through January 6, 2023.
Yep, so what I'd like you guys to do tonight is I would like you to, if you would go down and review, essentially just gotta look at the picture. So I provide in the packet the listing that will go out for open bid for any company that wants to provide the product and installation. The picture that is provided, it's way down here. There's a lot of specs that go into I'll wait till Dave gets down to it here. It's on page 110, if that helps.
Oh, wow. I was in the 80s.
So if you look at, go up to
Yeah.
109 real quick. So this is our current field right now. So, and then if you go to the next one, this is the proposed field. So as you can see, is there a way we can invert that? No, that's fine. So, can you scroll down? Can you flip it by chance?
Rotate it.
Rotate it? That's the word I was looking for. Rotate view. Oh, 2 more.
You want the LC upright.
Oh,
There we go. So that would be the new field right there. So a little more color. So I talked with Iowa Western and worked with them on the design. They're paying for 20% of the field. They're also going to help us with scoreboard replacement when we get to that point, and then help us with potentially help us with other renovations to the stadium in the area, because they do utilize that as well. So main changes, before you would see Titans and Reavers were outside of the end zones. We're gonna put Titans and Reavers, and they had this installed. The monofilament was all they had. I mean, that was the best they had. So just a short 3 years later, like in Missouri Valley, we had the bifilament, so we were able to have a double strand, and it just gives the field a totally different feeling. So
Question on the coloring
mhm.
of the end zones.
is with soccer, is that gonna create a challenge or a problem with us being able to use the field for both soccer and football?
I have tossed this out to soccer for their input and band, soccer, band, and football. And this was the one that they came up with. And talking with Field Turf, they have not had, this is what a lot of people have gone with, and they don't see any issue. You can't really see it real well on here.
Yeah, you
but
can see like the goalie box, yeah, we have to really zoom in.
Yeah, it doesn't stand, in fact, the colors for whatever reason on this particular, printout, the colors are actually, that looks like more of a blue, like a royal blue. That is actually a navy blue, so it's a dark navy, and then, they call it like a Carolina blue type of thing, so, for the lighter blue.
So it'd be striped still for soccer and for football?
It's striped for soccer and football, and then they all like I was going after a blue field, I thought that'd be cool, like the Boise State or Luther College, you know, Smurf turf, whatever they call it, like, that's what I wanted, but I was shot down, so that's okay. All these traditionalists around here. But yeah, that's what it looks like here. If you can see, there's gonna be two sets of, what are they called? Like, the lines that go up, the hash marks.
Hash
There you go.
marks.
That's what I was looking for. There's two sets of hash marks. We have the same situation now where the inner ones are for high school and the outer ones are for college. So it's really one set of full hash marks and then kind of like, they just kind of give an indication on the other side. So you can see there's white lines to indicate because college boxes for coaches and players are different than high school. So there is some that's one of the downsides of sharing a field is it becomes a little more expensive because every time you add a hash mark or you add a symbol or you add an additional mark of some kind, that actually drives up the price a little bit because it's more work, you know, it's different material, it takes longer because they physically cut in every one of those hash marks. So they are going to, according to the bid documents, we do request that they provide the bids as far as like the Reavers Titans in the end zone, the Iowa Westerns on the side, the Titans, the little practice field. We're asking for those all in almost like separate numbers. So that way if the bid comes in too high or higher than expected, then we have options. We can say, you know what, we can cut out the colors don't really matter when they're big colors because it's all kind of the same cost. It's all the cutting that costs money. So if they can give us some options on pricing with that, that little field, we'll see what that comes in. That would be nice because it would hopefully expand the length of our field or the longevity of our field. But if it's horribly expensive, then
Right.
that'll give us an option. So.
And then they'll cover the track where they have to move equipment over?
Oh, yeah.
And our track is,
Track is still good. The
Good.
track was, probably has another 4 to 5 years on it. And then we'll get one more resurfacing out of it, which means that they come through and basically they repair it all and then put like almost a coat of, material on it and then they restripe it, so. And you can do that so many times before you have to actually replace the whole track
Right.
and substructure.
right. I was thinking we had issues with the track and when we initially put in the field.
Oh, gotcha. I've
And
not
if it
heard
was
that.
like the first lane or something, or I can't remember.
I know the outer lane is awfully close to the fencing and the barrier.
Yeah, and then whether if it's off-center, was the 50-yard line was no longer right in the middle. It
Of the
had to be
bleachers.
shifted but you can still watch the game, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Any further discussion?
So this will be, we will use our public,
The PEPAL?
yeah, the PEPAL, yep, there we go.
Okay.
So we'll use the PEPAL to pay for this. Like I said, Iowa Western will be responsible for 20% of the overall costs. And so we'll kind of do that. But I will say that when the bids come in, we have to have a hearing, and then the hearing will, and because it's a capital improvement project that goes beyond $139,000, and so we'll have to have a hearing that'll be posted in the paper, and then we'll have to, you guys will vote it at that time once we get bids in. Bids will be out until January 6th, and we'll get those in, and then you guys will vote on the 9th for the field. You know, pending something coming in just so astronomically high that I don't think it's fair. I don't know how we would be able to go through another season with the way the field currently is, so. And the nice thing is really the substructure should be in really good shape, so this is, you know, essentially this should be just rolling up the carpet and putting down new turf.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, 8.02, appointment of a new board member. I know I want to say that we had 7 applications. Everyone was, you know, we read every application and what was said at their wanting to serve with the community, with the school. It was very good to hear, because I know we've sat on the board before when we're trying to find someone to take a vacant seat. And I think when the board voted a few years ago to go to all at-large district, before you had to live in the district in order to hold 4 board seats. And so I think that also helped, but we did have a lot of discussion and a lot of good things. Does any board member want to say anything?
Yeah, it is great to see that, you know, the interest, especially with folks that have kids in the district or will soon have kids in the district. It's really good to see that kind of participation and excitement to be on the board, because it isn't a real exciting role. It kind of go unnoticed in many cases, which is fine. And then I think above all else is, regardless whether you're appointed into the position or not, it'd be really great to see this much participation in an actual general election. You know, there's a couple of extra things that you have to do, but it's not that hard. But it'd be great to have this kind of participation at a regular election as well. So thank you very much.
And paperwork becomes available when, Andrea, do you remember? For September for the full election?
And also with the board, we are appointing someone just till November 2023. It's just to fulfill until the next general election, and then we will have our normal 4-year term of seats up for vote, and then also we'll have a 2-year term to finish out this vacant term, or vacated term. And anyone else have anything? I mean, I just really appreciate all the interviews, I mean, the time to come in and chat and let us know how you feel, and you know, everything. It's good to hear positive things from that people want to serve on the board, because it's positive, and that's really good to hear. Anyone else? Anything? All right, then we will go ahead, and this is the second portion of our agenda, that it's comments and suggestions from anyone who's sitting in the audience, or anyone who is online can type anything in. And hearing none, we'll go on to action items. 10.01, approval of field turf replacement maintenance bid, or plan bids to be accepted through January 6th of 2023.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Stoffer.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the plan of the high school football field turf replacement maintenance project with bids accepted through January 6th, with a board hearing and action taken place during the January 9th, 2023 regular board meeting.
And we have a second. Any?
Second, it was quiet.
Okay. Any discussion?
Time frame works from the end of track season, soccer season to,
Yep, that's why I want to get it done
Right
as
now,
soon as
okay.
possible, so.
that's what I assumed, but,
Okay.
And it is in the bid that they have to provide some guarantee that it's done as of August 1st.
okay,
So whether that's a monetary guarantee or, so.
okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, vote please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes,
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes. 10.02, nominate and appoint a new board member.
Madam Chair,
Ms.
I would-
Atkins.
like to make a motion to approve the appointment of Travis Houston as a board member to fill the remainder of the term vacated as a result of Bob Hendricks' resignation.
Second.
Any discussion?
Again, thank you to everyone who came and
And-
showed the interest.
And please, come November, run. I mean, we need the people to get involved, for
Absolutely.
sure. Vote please.
Mrs. Peterson?
No?
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes. All right, the next board meeting, or do we
Hang on.
want to?
Travis, would you like us to swear you in tonight, or would you like to wait? All right, we can swear you in. You will stand up. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of the Director in the Lewis Central Community School District as now or hereafter required by law? I do. You may take your seat.
Okay. And items of interest, future board meetings, our next board meeting will be next year, January 9th, 2023. There's a typo on the agenda.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Sorry, I was not used to that.
I know it.
2023.
I know, 2023. And I guess now we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? You can stay. How's the roads out?